Children look for the little people in Canterbury bells and hyacinths, and though they never find them, they know them there. Mauve enchants the mind, lures it to open its amethyst door, and behold, nothing but emptiness and eldritch moonshine. This is the latest video in the community group Folks Kindful Cafes project, sharing the folklore of Shropshire. My name is Kate Innes, and I'm a writer of fiction, poetry, and also a creative writing tutor. Now, I'm sure you're in agreement that May and June are months of particular beauty in Shropshire. Wildflowers are common in hedgerows, in woodlands, in meadows, by meresides, they're everywhere. We have a long history in Shropshire of writers appreciating these beauties. I think many people will know Mary Webb, who was a novelist at the end of the 19th, beginning of the 20th century, living in Shropshire, who wrote very movingly and very personally about nature. And she often used flowers as symbols in her writing to express the character of a person or their nature. We also find another of the female folklorists in Shropshire, Georgina Jackson, referring to wildflowers in her very useful and unique book, the Shropshire Word Book, which looks at dialect words and other particularly Shropshire expressions. Now in Shropshire and across the world, in fact, many of the plants that are thought to be bad for you or irritant are given names that start with the devil. So we have in Shropshire devil's churn staff, which is the sun spurge. They think that that's the case because of its acrid white sap. And we also have devil's Bit Scabiosa, because they think that it looks like the devil bit the stem of the scabious, which is incredibly useful to people because it made him so cross that something should exist to help humankind. There are other plants which are very useful to people, and often these have names beginning with lady, which could refer just to an ordinary lady, but could equally refer to the Lady of Heaven, the Virgin Mary. So we have ladies' smocks, which are the cuckoo flower, ladies' fingers and gloves, which we now call foxgloves. And then there are other plants which have very unique names to Shropshire. So the great hairy willow herb was called Custard cups. And the dog violet, Cuckoo's shoe in Shropshire. Now you might be interested, as I was, to know why some plants are given the prefix dog, and apparently this is because they were considered less worthy than other species in the same genus. So the dog violet doesn't smell as sweet as the sweet violet does. I'm going to ask you to join in with a creative writing exercise now, based on these little extracts of folklore around wildflowers. So I'm going to give you two choices and see which one appeals to you. It would be lovely if you could share your responses in the comments on our Facebook page. We'd love to see what you come up with. So my first suggestion is, think of a flower that you particularly know, that you can picture in your mind or that you can see. And I'd like you to come up with a new name for it based on its properties or on what it looks like. I've got behind me Philadelphus, which is also called orange blossom, and it smells absolutely divine. So we could think of a new name for that. So the second exercise of creative writing I'd like to give you is based on the art of Floriography. Now, we were talking about flowers being symbols for different characteristics, and as well as that, they were turned into a whole language of their own, particularly in the Victorian period, at a time when society was very closed and strict, and so people used flowers as a sort of secret language in order to express their love or their despair. And many dictionaries were created to explain the meanings of different flowers based on their properties and also their appearance. So I'm going to ask you to think about a person you've been unable to see during the lockdown, and I want you to make them a floral language bouquet, so a virtual bouquet of the names of flowers with various meanings. Chamomile is patience in adversity. Bluebell is humility. Belladonna is silence. Lavender, distrust. Violet, loyalty and devotion. And of course, the rose is a long-term symbol of love, romantic love, but also if it's white, it is I'm worthy of you, or purity. If it's yellow, it can be jealousy, and a very dark crimson is mourning if you've lost a loved one. So there are many, many flowers with various meanings. I'm going to post lists of them on my website, which is kateinniswriter.com, and also I will put a link to that below so that you can get to it easily. I would love to see what you come up with, your various bouquets of meaning that you want to send to someone special. So look out for the next video in this series coming up in a couple of days, and look forward to seeing you again in a few weeks when I'll be doing my last one. Take care. Thank you for watching.